Hey everyone, today we're going to be looking through even more Easter eggs in Dead by Daylight. Starting off, we have some Easter eggs surrounding the origins of Dead by Daylight. Before there was Dead by Daylight, there was Naughty Bear. Naughty Bear was a horror slasher game developed by Artificial Minded Movement. The game focused on the titular character, Naughty Bear, a murderous bear who goes around killing other bears after he isn't invited to a birthday party. The developers of this game in 2010 became known as Behavior Interactive, the developers of DBD. A few small references to Naughty Bear can be found in Dead by Daylight, one of them released with the Spark of Madness DLC, featured on the back of Feng Min's base outfit, and the logo for her past esports team, Laser Bears. This image depicting the similar looking futuristic bears that could be seen in Naughty Bear. Recently, with the Year 5 anniversary, a charm was released as part of the event, which was the Naughty Bear, as a piñata and filled with candy. Another small hint to the origins of DBD. Okay, next up. In the most recent Resident Evil game release, named Village, a small Easter egg can be found relating to Dead by Daylight. This is pretty cool, as to the best of my knowledge, there aren't many references from other games to DBD. Basically for this, you can get this to happen pretty easily and quite early on into the Village storyline. Upon entering Castle Dimitrescu from the main village area, you'll hear a loud scream when entering a hall. If you listen carefully, you can probably tell this is the scream of Meg Thomas from Dead by Daylight, likely put in as a little reference to the Resident Evil Dead by Daylight crossover. Alternately, inside of DBD on the Raccoon City police station map, when entering the room with a typewriter, you can hear the save room music that you would hear in a Resident Evil game. If you didn't know, typewriters act as the save points in these games, which you approach to save your progress, and also to have a bit of a breather before you go back out into the action. To find this room, simply walk up the right set of stairs from the lobby and go through the first door. You'll hear a very distinct change of music. I'll play it quickly here. Also, in terms of Resident Evil content, there is a small difference to Nemesis's Mori when he performs it on S.T.A.R.S members Jill Valentine or Chris Redfield, saying the word S.T.A.R.S after completing the Mori. This is more of a reference or in-lore thing, but he does this because Nemesis was a bioweapon created for the purpose of hunting down members of S.T.A.R.S, an elite branch of the Raccoon City Police Department, after they uncovered the wrongdoings of Umbrella in the first Resident Evil game in the Arklay Mountains. Nemesis, as a creation of Umbrella, is then released to eliminate the members of S.T.A.R.S, and so his phrase is S.T.A.R.S when he kills one of the members. I thought I'd also throw in another little kindy Easter egg thing in here to do with slightly altered moris, as quite a lot of people don't seem to know this. The clown actually has two different moris. One of the moris cuts off the pinky finger on the left hand, and the other cuts off the index on the right hand. On female characters he does the right, and male he does the left. This hasn't been confirmed, I don't think, but the best speculation that most have come up with is that this was done as Ash's right hand is actually made of metal, so it doesn't work too well in terms of clown cutting it off and sucking it, so they made all male characters have their left hand pinky get cut instead, but leaving the female characters to have their right hand get cut. Okay, for this we're going to be returning to a very old one that we talked about in the very first Easter eggs video, the golden toolboxes. The golden toolboxes are probably the most well-known Easter egg in the game. These are a series of golden colored toolboxes that can be found on most maps. Typically these toolboxes are somewhat hidden, but some are more obvious, like the one on Haddonfield, which appears simply directly under a bench on the map. There are some much harder ones, however, that require you to glitch out of the map, like Ormond's, which is in an unreachable area under the stairs of the ski resort, or the Hawkins one, which requires the endgame collapse to start to be able to view it. One that remained unsolved for almost an entire year was the Midwich Elementary Golden Toolbox. People had searched for this thing all over, trying to figure out where it could be or how to activate its appearance in the trial. After a long time, two people, Beast Gaming HD and Fatal Seductions, found out how to activate the toolbox. It was finally found through a very odd technique. This was done by having someone go down at a very specific angle next to a big pile of meat in the chemistry room, where they would then get moried, and you'd be able to briefly see the toolbox. However, the true method of revealing the toolbox was unsure. With more exploration from Polyester and Earth to Lydia, the toolbox's reveal method was figured out. It was as simple as waiting in the chemistry room next to the big meat bundle until the endgame collapse came to its very last bar of duration, where it would then slide right out of the big pile for you to see. For this to work though, you do have to down all survivors in your game to extend the endgame's duration, as otherwise it ends too quickly and nothing will happen. Another toolbox that was found recently that had remained undiscovered for over a year was also the dead Dawg Saloon toolbox. This one was actually found a while ago, I believe, through data mining or something, but actually being able to see it was something people hadn't quite discovered yet. However, this one is a lot less cool, and just requires you to come stand over by the water tower, where you can see a slither of it moving up and down inside the water tower itself, between the gaps in the wood. I'll put some gameplay up, hopefully you'll be able to see the tiny golden slither which is the toolbox inside of the water tower. Next, we're going to look at a few secret rooms on different maps. These are debatably Easter eggs, they're more just rooms that behavior haven't made inaccessible yet, but hey, they're still cool to be able to access, so I may as well mention them. I actually found out about this first Coldwind one from a SupaAlf video, where he hides in here as Nurse. It's a good video, you should go check it out. This room can be found on the Rancid Abattoir map. Basically, this room spawns as a result of the basement not spawning in this location, so if you do want to get this to spawn easily, you can just burn the offering that makes the basement spawn at Killer Shack instead. Once here, you can just blink through the doorway. It's actually kind of funny, the door that covers it up is just floating, the hinges aren't even attached to anything. Nothing in here, but it's a cool little room. Next, moving over to the Raccoon City police station map, we can find an empty room accessible by the nurse also. You can get to this room by just blinking over this small bit of blockage on the stairs, where you can then walk up and find a completely empty room. Again, there's nothing up there really, but it's a cool little area that no one else can reach. The final one we have today is the Gnome Chompski Easter egg, that was made out as a whole event really. During this event you could find Gnome Chompski during the endgame collapse, where you could kick him and then be rewarded with the Gnome Chompski charm. This little guy is a reference to Left 4 Dead 2, where during the Dark Carnival section of the game, upon gaining 750 or more points on one of the circus games, you'll get Gnome Chompski as a reward.
Nice shot. Hey, I'm reloading. Molotov? And Buck says he takes him to the right.
Hey, I'm reloading.
Delivering him to the end of the section will get you an achievement. Gnome Chompski, although appearing in Left 4 Dead 2, was originally from another Valve game, Half-Life 2. Alright, well, that's gonna do it. I do hope you enjoyed, and do let me know if there's any more Easter eggs you found down below. Thanks, and goodbye.